Good evening. Thanks for joining me tonight. This is Emery Christie with A1R Psychic Radio with Messages, Magic, and Musings. So tonight, I thought that I would share with you a little bit of insight around acknowledging our own intuition as guidance for where to set boundaries, something that so many of us struggle with for many different reasons. And our boundaries may be challenged differently within different relationships, different settings, whether they're personal, whether they are professional. There can be so many different challenges for us. And I want to help just enlighten you a little bit as to how to recognize when something works for you, when it doesn't, when we might be receiving guidance from spirit, guidance from our own intuition as to where we need to set a boundary, when it's time to say no or to walk away or to cut ties. And it's always easier said than done. That much is true. Why don't we set boundaries? Well, oftentimes it's A, because it's uncomfortable, B, because we don't want to risk rejection. But acknowledging our own energetic guidance, our own spiritual guidance is really so very imperative, because you can clear your energy, you can ground your energy, you can do so many different things to protect yourself. But if you're also negating to back that up with setting healthy boundaries, you're literally violating your own energy. You're literally giving it away, serving it up on a platter. And so we want to just be able to recognize and acknowledge when it might be good for you to say yes and when it might be time to walk away. So as I said in one of my previous episodes, when I was talking with Mandy Metz, I mentioned about how very often in the left shoulder, I'll receive an awareness around somebody. And if you do happen to be somebody who has challenges with your left shoulder, chances are you are actually somebody who engages a lot in overgiving. Whether that was the previous you, as in it was a long-standing theme in this lifetime, whether or not you've corrected that or not, it's definitely going to be a theme in this lifetime. And overgiving is when we dishonor our own energetic boundaries. We go against what feels good for us. We go against what brings balance to us, what nurtures us, and we do things anyway. So that's your body literally telling you that you're overgiving. Okay. So another thing to think about before we go into things to acknowledge is the sacral chakra. If you know anything about the sacral, it is located below the belly button. So this is connected to your reproductive organs. It's connected to actual, sexual function. It's connected to our ability to procreate, so our actual fertility, but then our energy around creation. So all new beginnings, anything that it is we'd like to manifest, that we want to create, whether it's on a creative level or whether it's something we want to create in this lifetime, around our purpose, abundance, love. And it's also connected to intimacy. So to achieve true intimacy, which is really just being able to be ourselves, to show people who we are, and to also be able to engage with them at that level on a really vulnerable level and be safe, we actually need to have balance in this sacral. So it's connected to so many things. And so many people are familiar with the concept of karma, but of course, people don't say very nice things about karma. The truth is that karma is really what we put out comes back to us. And that's the allowance or the understanding part of me that as we give, we are meant to receive. It's not selfish. It's not greedy. We don't give with expectation that whoever we give to will give back to us, but we give when we honor what feels right and what feels true, knowing that in some way, somehow, we end up receiving that energy back. It's still on us to choose to accept it. So too often we're pushing away compliments, offers of help, kind gestures, because we feel uncomfortable accepting, not because it's not okay to accept them, but because we have challenges. And oftentimes the people who have challenges accepting those things are actually people who are overgivers. So you know what it is to give to the point of discomfort. So then we often perceive that when others are trying to give to us, that we're somehow bringing them great discomfort if we allow ourselves to receive that. Other times, we also have a heightened sense of independence because we have trust issues. And so we might have a challenge accepting and receiving things, but we block our flow of abundance when that happens. So it's something to be mindful of if you have a challenge around that, as long as it doesn't cross major boundaries, as long as it doesn't put you in a poor professional I'm a loss for words. A poor professional stance is in it violates policies and procedures or something like that. I just ask you that you really look at what it is that is causing you to reject things so that you can be in awareness, so you can push your boundaries in a healthy way. So, moving forward a little bit, when we talk about recognizing when something is in honor of us, when it will work for us, or when it violates our energy, I want you to think about this. When somebody asks something of you, they ask you for your time, your help, your money, whatever resources you have, or you see somebody in need and you think, I should offer this, I should do this for them, somebody has to help them. Before you actually go ahead and offer that part of you, that energy, I want you to be able to just acknowledge what your experience is. Sit with it for a moment. I like to sit with my energy with my eyes closed because I'm more aware of visions, sensations, different things like that. I like to sit in my energy and I like to just observe. I go back and I think, what was the first thing that popped into my head when that thought or that ask came in? Was it, oh, yeah, sure. Or was it, oh, I don't want to do this. This is exhausting. I just want to say no, but I'm just going to say yes. You don't have a good reason. If you have to guilt yourself or self-talk again, that's probably a good idea that you're meant to say no. When you feel light and easy, again, very likely that it might be a good indication that it's okay for you to offer this or to say yes. When it sits heavy with you, you feel uncomfortable physically, emotionally, your self-talk is negative, you feel a loss of energy, it's a no. And again, if it feels positive, light, easy, a good indication that it's a yes. And so again, we can do all sorts of different things to properly ground and protect our energy, to bring us to that place of calm, to feel safe. But it's still on us to be able to communicate our needs, to set our boundaries, because if we don't, nobody's going to do it for us, especially if we have a tendency to fall into overgiving. So we need to recognize that there's more room in this world than just selfish and selfless. Somewhere in the middle, we're meant to exist in a way that honors ourselves. It is not selfish to look after yourself. It's not selfish to have to set a boundary and say no. It can be scary. It can be uncomfortable, but it is not selfish. Selfless. What is selfless? A lack of self. It doesn't even make sense that we shouldn't exist in our own life and that our needs aren't important and that it's always about other people. If you have an understanding of what it's like to try to live in a way that you're always making other people happy, that you're always trying to do whatever suits other people, at some point you get to the point where you recognize that you're unhappy, that you're exhausted, and that nobody's going to make that change for you but you. So I just ask you to honor your own intuition, to honor your own guidance, and don't be afraid to make decisions that are good for you. So thank you. Now, I see I have a caller. Taylor, are you there?
Yes.
Hi, Taylor. How are you tonight?
Good. How are you?
I'm very good. Thank you. Now, I will give you an opportunity just to steer me in the direction of what you'd like to know. What would you like me to explore with you tonight?
I just wanted to see if you'd be able to either connect or tell me a little bit more about my son who passed away.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry for your loss. Thank you very much for giving me a chance to be able to work with you on this. Now, may I ask, what is your son's first name?
Corey.
Corey. Okay. And how long ago did Corey pass?
About 9 years ago.
Okay. All right. So I'm just going to take a moment and sit with the energy of Corey. Okay. So I
Okay.
always believe there are two ways that we connect with loved ones, and knowing that they're always around us. When we have a first name, it can make it a little bit easier to bring in the energy that we want to connect with. It's like if you walked into a crowded room and just hoped the right person would show up, you might get lucky and it might be difficult. So this way is a good way to approach things. So I'm just going to take a moment here.
Okay.
Okay. So I fully understand that, that is one thing that happens in life. There's an expiration in the physical earth for all of us in this lifetime. However, of course, that doesn't mean that it's ever easy. In Corey's case, it feels like there's some confusion either around his experience or around his passing. When I first connect to Corey, what comes forward is kind of this funny sense in my head, okay? And so if this is him, this might indicate that he is or was confused by circumstances around his passing. There could have been a sudden nature. There could have been something affecting his brain health, mentally or physically, or sometimes addictions or physical issues that lead to dizziness can be a part of that. But I actually felt like it was maybe more connected to confusion on your part. Are there a lot of unanswered questions around his passing?
Yeah, I guess you could say that, yeah.
Okay. All right. Now, the things that I listed, as far as different possibilities around the head, did any of that resonate with you as far as Corey's experience just prior to his passing?
Around his head?
Yeah. Was there any issues with like addiction or confusion or health issues that might have been connected to the brain?
Um, I don't know if it was fully having to do with his brain. I know that with the condition that he had, he couldn't really breathe.
Okay. Okay. So as I said, I felt like it was likely more connected to your own confusion, unanswered questions. So I'm just going to
Yeah.
re-engage with Corey and we'll see where we go from there. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so it feels to me as though this was a condition that was there previously, but there was something sudden about the way it shifted or changed or progressed. But I'm being given indication that there was something underlying. It feels like there was already a challenge there. So I don't know if there was a diagnosed condition or damage or something like that, or if something had been undiagnosed. But there shows that there was already some sort of a struggle or awareness. Now,
Yeah.
let's see. There was still that rapid sensation that I'll get with sudden things, though. So again, things shifted and changed really quickly. I want you to know that although I'm not seeing him yet, he may still show himself. Everyone interacts differently, but I want you to know that he's telling me he doesn't want you to remember him the way that he was at the end. He says that's the last thing he wants you left with. And I know it sticks with you in your mind. What a painful thing as a mother to be left with those visions and that as your final memory when you have so many amazing times, and he's begging you do
Mom,
some
mom,
healing
mom,
so that
mom.
you can get back to being able to remember those pieces because he wants that for you. As hard as it was for you to go through that, and I know that
No,
nothing can take those memories
no.
away, you really truly deserve to be able to
Oh.
remember the best times that you had with him. And I understand that that's hard for you.
Mhm.
Okay. So he wants you to know that he wants you to know that he's okay. I like to ensure that our loved ones have actually made that transition. So he shows me that he's made a transition. He showed a hand being held out to him. I know that he had a loved one with him when he transitioned, okay? He references somebody who is a grandmother. It could be literally, grandmother, or it could be a grandmotherly person or great grandma. But there is a woman that helped him transition over who is in fact a grandmother figure to him. So he wants you to know he wasn't alone. Okay. And he speaks of struggle for you. Struggle, it feels like there were decisions that had to be made, and the pain and the torture that you put yourself through wondering if there was something you could have done differently or if you made the right decision. He wants you to know that there was nothing you could have done that would have brought a different outcome.
Oh God.
There's a lot of pain around this, I know, but I just want you to know it seems like there's some amount of challenge with forgiving yourself. And that is his biggest concern. He's okay. He's worried about you.
Yeah.
Now, is there something you would like to ask him?
Oh man. I know when I got pregnant with my daughter, the doctor told me that I shouldn't have even gotten pregnant with her, that my body should have rejected the pregnancy from the very beginning, and I just always assumed that it was basically him just watching over her.
Mm-hmm.
And I just want to
And
know. I don't know.
your pregnancy with your daughter, were you able to carry her to term and to deliver her safely?
Yeah, she's 2 years old now.
Okay, that's beautiful. Okay, so I'm going to see what he'll bring us, but I will tell you this. I know that you can feel sensations. And so you'll want to read about what clairsentience means. It means that you can feel energy. So there's something about him that indicates to me that you get a physical sensation. It might be chills, it might be warmth, it might be cold, it might literally be pressures and all sorts of different things. But pay attention to little sensations that your body has. You might not know why you're responding the way you are, but he does come to you in some sort of physical sensation. And right now it feels like it's especially around the chest, okay? So with your daughter, what is her first name, my dear?
Amora.
Okay, that's beautiful. How old is she now?
2.
Okay. Okay, so here's what I want you to know. I see her sitting on the floor. Does she have right now, or did she when she was a little bit younger, some nice little baby curls that came out? Not super curly, but some little waves that came out near the bottom?
Yes, well, now she's a full head of curls.
Oh, does she?
Oh,
Okay.
oh my
So
God.
I saw her with definitely less than that, but I saw the curly hair, okay? And I saw this little girl sitting on the floor. I'm guessing it was probably maybe like last summer. She looked younger. She had bare arms and bare legs, was wearing a little sleeveless top, a light color. It didn't have a vibrant color to it, but I think maybe almost like a pale pink or a mauve. And she was sitting on the floor looking up. And he was showing himself to me sitting with her. He was showing him playing with her, and he used the word playmate. And so he wants you to know that he is there with her. He spends time with her. And I believe she actually acknowledges him, even if she doesn't really know how to express it. Okay. So with
Yeah.
her, she has an ability to see. Okay, so she has an ability to see energy. She can see him in some ways, whether it's a hazy image, whether it's bright white light, whether he looks like a picture image, whether he's orbs, but she sees him. And I also get indication that she speaks with him. So as she grows, I want you to listen to her stories and be curious so that she can keep that door open. But I also want you to know that you can speak to him anytime you want. And when you're sitting in your own energy, when you speak to him, take a moment and just sit in your energy and see what kind of sensations you get back, because he is communicating with you. It might not be in ways that you can hear or see, but there's something with you about the way you feel. Okay. So pay attention and know that he's around. And I'm sorry for your loss, but I'm going to tell you this. If your daughter was not meant to be with you in this lifetime, would she be here? So as much as I realize we look to doctors for professional opinion and guidance, I just want you to understand that, you were gifted that for a reason. And we sometimes struggle to find the reasons, especially when there's loss. But then sometimes we see what we do have, and we have to recognize that, those things happen for a reason too. So the blessing of her was certainly something amazing. So thank you so much for your time, and take good care.
I thank you.
Thank you. All right. Catherine, are you there? Okay, so we'll just be a minute with Catherine. So I wanted to share with you really quickly until we get Catherine on the line. I drew a card for us from the Moonology deck. And so upside down, this beautiful deck, Moonology Oracle cards. And the card for today for the collective was to have faith in your dreams. And it's a little bit hard to see. Let's see if we can bring that in there, but it's a beautiful waxing crescent moon. So have faith in your dreams. It's encouragement not to give up. If there's something that you're dreaming of that you want to put in action, now's the time, but you need to keep your focus where you want to experience. Okay, so believe in yourself. Hi, Catherine. Thanks for joining me. How can I help you?
I just want to know, what's going to happen. What's going to happen next for me in my life? Like, I just want to know, about love and even about what's going to happen to me.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you maybe a couple little questions just so I can feel us into the right direction, okay? So first of all, I tell people this all the time. We can read the tendency to where energy goes.
Yeah.
Most things, unless we're on that path already, we don't always know if we're on the path, but most things can be shifted by free will choice. So I just caution us that although the future can be predicted, our choices and sometimes other people's choices also change the course of action, okay? So it's just an awareness to have. So now around relationships, around love in particular, is kind of the direction you'd like to move, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I'm just going to ask, do you have somebody in your life right now? Whether it's a committed relationship or whether it's somebody that you're interested in or seeing casually, it feels like there's someone there at this present time. Is that correct?
I mean, yeah, but we're not talking or seeing each other for now.
Okay. What is the first initial of that person?
I don't know, I don't know his birthday, but I know his name.
Oh, no, yeah, I didn't say birthday, just first initial.
His name is Jay, Jon, June.
Okay, so let's just see. Okay, so I just wanted to address that first because the guidance that I'm getting around that is that this feels like a path you've gone down a few times, whether it's over and over with him or whether this is a bit of a repetitive cycle, even if it's different people, different relationships. There's something repetitive here. And the guidance that I get for you is that this is kind of a dead end. You could keep pursuing this relationship if you get back together or, whatever your choices are. But I don't see this leading to the kind of outcome that you're hoping to have, okay? So to me, I mean, of course, honor your own choices and decisions, what feels right for you. But the awareness that I get looks like we're moving into a new direction if you're looking at your highest and best good. So now let's just see.
I just want to know, like, what does he, like, feel for me, because it's like we only met once and then met each other once, but then, like, something happened and it just kind of, like, got a little bit, like, complicated, and then now it's just, like, I don't know, I didn't even contacted him, and he haven't contacted me back, like, I meant he didn't even contacted me either, so it's just, like, we're not even talking to each other, and he wanted to see me again, but I don't know why.
Okay, so again, it just comes up like this is not a well-suited match for you. And it feels like in my head, like confusion, drama, things like that. And so you might not fully know what that means unless you pursue this and then find all the drama that comes with it. But it just doesn't feel like it matches your energy and what you're looking for. With what he feels for you, I want you to get clear on what it is that you want. If you pursue something with him or with someone else, be clear on what it is that you want out of a relationship. I know not everyone wants to get married. Some people want to date very casually, but yet some people are very much relationship oriented, monogamous, polyamorous, whatever it is.
Well,
and so be clear on what you want.
Well, basically, like, he told me that he likes me, and then I don't know, because he told me that he needed some things to clear up from himself. But then I don't know, like, when we met each other, he told me he was into me and that he likes me, but I don't know.
Okay, so I'm just going to tell you this. I only have just a few seconds to finish this, okay? So my apologies, but I want you to know that this feels messy and it feels like he doesn't know what he wants. And so I want you to be clear on what you want so that if you do choose to communicate with him in the future, you can decide if it's actually going to match what you want. I don't feel that he recognizes what it is that he wants, and it just doesn't feel like a match. So to me, the guidance that I'm getting for you is you're likely not going to find what you're looking for in him. You might be tempted to explore it. That's up to you, but it doesn't look like it's going to be a match made in heaven. So you get to work deciding what it is that you're looking for in a relationship. And again, don't be surprised if this doesn't offer you what you're looking for. So thank you very much, Catherine. My apologies that it's fairly short and sweet. Thank you for joining me tonight on Messages, Magic, and Musings. Take good care.